Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Go Brandon Green. Today we're going to talk about Melanotan. And there's my vial. And I bought that overseas. And I was injecting myself with it. And you can get that overseas. And I got that in Bangkok. And I also got it in Greece before that. I bought it online. And we're going to talk about Melanotan in Australia, and most importantly, what I want to get to the bottom of is is Scenesse Melanotan? And the answer to that, I believe, is yes. Now, and I'll show you why I believe that. And I'm also going to say to you all that I am not a doctor, not anything to do with anything. I'm actually so much of not trained in any of that stuff that I'm actually unvaccinated, and I didn't get the because I did research like this. Research, you know. I'm one of those people that, what are we, like conspiracy theorist kind of dudes, you know. And and I've seen it all before, like on the Facebook groups, like someone asks, hey, like these people, EPP, what it's designed for, and which is what I was believed to have, or even believed to have a form of porphyria, which in some types of porphyria you can get skin sensitivity, light sensitivity issues, which is what I'm having for the last 2 years, but doesn't look like it is EPP. But what it is, Scenesse or Melanotan is actually a treatment drug for Melanotan, for EPP, and approved in Australia and America a few years ago, in the UK. And in the UK under PBS, America, some insurances pay for it. I don't understand how that all works and everything, but in Australia it is not on the PBS, and I think it's like 40 grand for 2 months worth. Like, there's only a few EPP people in Australia, a handful of them, a couple of hundred or something, I'd say. What chances of them being a million billionaire squillionaire would be zero. It's all around the world, everyone's got it, and it's a very bad, terrible disease. The house is your jacket. Your house becomes your jacket. Anyway, since I've been using Melanotan for the last month or so, I could suddenly tolerate more light. I could go out for like a couple of hours a day, an hour and a half a day during the middle of the day, which is good. I didn't have to wait until, the sun set to venture out. By then you're that tired, and because you've been pissed off all day, that you got this terrible disease where you sting, and then your face goes all sandpapery and stuff, which wasn't happening to me a year ago. Before it was just stinging, and now it's like my face is, everything's erupting. It's not good. Anyway, we won't talk about that. Maybe I'll talk about that another day, what's going on with me. But Melanotan, it's cruel that these people they're told that they can't take Melanotan because it's so different to Scenesse, which I believe it's not. I believe it's exactly the same thing, just administered differently and labelled differently. I believe Melanotan 1 is the nickname of Scenesse, which is the trade name of Afamelanotide, which also Melanotan 1 was a trade name earlier, before they sold it all to this place called Clinival or whatever, that now sell it for all this money, and call it Scenesse. So you got Afamelanotide, Scenesse, and Melanotan 1. Melanotan 1 was the trade name that it was going to be. Or I think it was even approved in Italy or something. You can look into this, and then that now all got changed. Scenesse got it now, or Clinival bought it, and they all called it Scenesse. So you got those two names, Scenesse and Melanotan 1 were the names of it, and then underneath that you've got the actual real drug name, which is Afamelanotide. Now, why I had to explain that like for 30 seconds just then, because so much misinformation getting out there. Like, yeah. And then you got Melanotan 1, which is Scenesse, and then you got Melanotan 2, which is its own thing, Melanotan 2. And then you got another thing off that called Bremelanotide. So you've actually got 3 Melanotans. You've got Melanotan 1, Melanotan 2, and Bremelanotide. Or the nickname of that is PT141. If anyone wants to look that up. And that is approved. And that is very similar to Melanotan 2. Okay, so the 2 approved drugs around the world are Afamelanotide, which is Scenesse, and it's only approved as Scenesse. Well, I can show you some other stuff that you can actually get here in Australia. You can actually go into a doctor, I believe, and get a script for Melanotan 1, 2 in Australia and inject it, and it costs you a couple of $100, a few $100, or not even that. Like, I don't know, but yeah, from what I've seen, yeah. After you get a doctor's script, he writes you up because he can, and you can get Melanotan 1 or 2 in Australia. This is going to blow your mind. I'll probably blow everyone's mind here, because heaps of people are like, oh, I know that. Because I thought I knew this too, because I used to dabble in this stuff as a kid. How I got onto Melanotan as a kid, you know, I was 20 working, 2009 working in the, was a door-to-door salesman, and the guy would come back, this young kid would come in the office one day and he'd be like, oh, I'm going to get so brown. He's 19, Polish white. And we're like, what are you talking about? We're a few years older than him, giving him, grief. He's stirring us up. We're stirring him up every day. Oh, I'm getting black. Oh, I'm like, what are you on about? Oh, I've got some injection. I inject it every night, and I'm going to be black in like a week. And we're like, what are you on about, man? You inject what? Where'd you get it? Off the internet, yeah. Off the dark web. And we're like, oh, you're crazy, man. You're injecting stuff. Whew. Sure enough, a week later, we come back to office, and he's black. He's brown. And we're like, whoa. And he's like, I told you. You didn't believe me. Told you. And we're like, fuck, yeah, give us some. We want some. Like, we're young and dumb and want to be brown and black. And like, we're all doing it. And near enough, I got so black people are asking me. I was on the doors knocking, and they're saying, what nationality are you? Where are you from? Indian, Aboriginal? I'm like, nah, white. I'm Caucasian, white, Irish, white. Nah. One lady I remember, she's like, no, you're not. You're lying. How can I trust you? You're lying about your genetical background. I said, man, I got asked so many times. That was funny. And I was, blown away, because mate, damn near changes your ethnicity, because when you're white and you look black, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like someone that you haven't seen. But anyway, that's the dramatic stuff that Melanotan 2 does. Now, the 3 differences between what I believe are between Melanotan 1, Melanotan 2, and Melanotan, or Bremelanotide. Melanotan 1 is approved as Scenesse, and they've made it into a little chip, not a chip, it's like a little tiny like implant thing that goes in your arm and slow releases it over 2 months, whereas you can just buy it and inject it, and it's the same thing, like choose your dose. And then the second one is Melanotan 2. That one is the one that all the young people take. That was the one I was on. That's also has, it works. They all work on these receptors, right? There's about 5 or 6 receptors that they all work on. And they all slightly variantly do different jobs. So Melanotan 1, it gets you a slower tan. I don't know about any other effects on it. Melanotan 2 gets you a tan quick as anything and quite aggressive, and also has comes with the benefit of boners. Females get wet, sex interest increases. All my friends got that. I never got that. Also got the red flushing. They didn't get the red flushing as a side effect, and they got stomach cramps, and I didn't get any gut cramps. So yeah, it's weird how everyone, but there's been no real reports of any real bad side effects that I've heard of. However, there have been a few people overdosing, taking like 60% of a vial in one go, where you're supposed to take like, now it's like 1/100th. Before we were taking 1/10. That was so long ago, no one knew what to take. The rumor on the internet was take 1 milligram every day until you got brown, then you could back it off for your maintenance dose. Well, we were all pumping 1 milligram a day for weeks. Like, we had a competition who can get the darkest. Crazy now. It does leave you with hyperpigmentation. I grew a LBC, a little black, you know what I mean? Like, it was black, like all soft skin and that all just goes black. It takes a few years for it to all, go away. And then the third one is a variant on Melanotan II, because they see how aggressive the sexual side effects are. But for anyone that didn't want to go brown, they take the pigmentation stimulating part away, and then that's called Bremelanotide, and that's sold in America, I believe, for people to get girls to get increased sex drive. Yeah, and that's all approved and everything. So let's have a look here, so you can see what's going on. So you type in Melanotan into Google and you get all this stuff. So I can kind of prove to you what's going on, what I think's going on. So it just says it's all dangerous and not good or anything. And a lot of people in these EPP groups are led to believe that Melanotan and see, this is what I've got. Hold up. Jeez, I've got so much stuff to say. I just go on crazy. That's why I talk like this. But bear with me, and I'll put all labels in the video so you can follow easy. So this is what I believe I've got. The doctor in dermatologist Thailand tested me. He just shone a light at my back, and I couldn't believe my back reacted to light, because it was always my face. And even he was like, whoa. But yeah, my back reacted, and I said, does a Fitzpatrick type 1, like, does the albino react to this? At how long? Like, do they ever? He goes, no, it's light. You shouldn't react. It's rare. I said, well, I told you something was going on. I just didn't know it was my back. He goes, oh, you're photosensitive. You're photosensitive everywhere. I said, well, I know that from what I've read, but I'm telling you, I'm a 1 in a billion trillion. What's going on with me? And he's just like, yeah. So everyone doesn't know what to do with me. I don't know what's going on. I've given up caring, but I'm photosensitive. Anyway, so EPP, they think I have. I've done the blood test since. I've done many EPP blood tests. My porphyria levels are above, high, all over the place, but not to the extent which they need to be for true EPP. Anyway, in these groups, I get sent to these groups, these Facebook groups, EPP, and these guys are like me. They've been like that their whole life, like crying out for help. They can't afford like Scenesse and everything. And turns out, every now and then someone comes along and asks a question. Does anyone know what the difference between Melanotan and Scenesse is? Then someone chimes in, they are very, very different. No, they're not. And if one of them is identically it, which I'll show you in a minute. First, Scenesse has had many, many years of research behind it, and is not primarily a tanning agent. It is photoprotective and protective against phototoxicity. You're talking about the same thing here. Next, this is, she could be forgiven. It was 2014. But next, when you're injecting yourself with Melanotan, you're affecting your pigments, melanin, and melanocytes, and can be very dangerous. I don't know what she thinks is going on with Scenesse. This needs clinical research, FDA approval. Very scary. While Scenesse is far more complex, protective, and has had safety studies as well as clinical trials, comparing the two is like comparing a viable polio vaccine with a home brew. And then again, it's like the administration of it's different. How you take it, self-injecting versus the revolutionary thing, which is the implant, which is It's the same thing. I don't know if she realised she's talking about the same thing, but that's still the thing. You go up, someone puts a thing, and they're all like, no, we can't take that. It doesn't even work. It's different. Well, if you compare it to Melanotan II, which the media does, it is different. And if you compare the how it's taken, like via you inject it or the implant, it sounds like you can make it sound like to the layman it looks no further into it, as if it's scary. It's clearly not the same thing, and if it is, we'd just be told we could have it. Now, let's go. So we go on to Wikipedia here. This is Melanotan II. Let's go to. I was looking up a few things there. Get to that in a minute. Melanotan 1. Oh yeah, when you type into Google, Melanotan 2 comes up. Even though, well, I guess you could be more specific. Melanotan 2 is the more popular one against people looking to buy it online. But Melanotan 1 is Afamelanotide. So we'll put the two together. We've got Melanotan 2 and Afamelanotide, which I believe is Melanotan 1, and I believe is also Scenesse. And then you've got this one here called PT141 Bremelanotide. Wikipedia, that one. Let's have a look. Alright, let's put these in order. Alright, Afamelanotide. Like I said, I believe it's Scenesse. I believe, which it says it is Scenesse, and I believe it's Melanotan 1. Melanotan 1. Other names Melanotan 1. Because it was owned by another company which named it Melanotan 1 way back in, like, Epitan had it and changed its name to they just changed their name, right? And they must have changed the name of, when did they call it Melanotan 1? Which they initially, the Arizona, University of Arizona, I believe, which were playing around with it in the 80s, called it Melanotan 1 due to its ability to tan the skin. Yeah, and later synthesized Melanotan 2, which is extremely similar to it. So, and then it's for EPP. So then everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, administration, subcutaneous, that's the one everyone buys off the internet, does it with. Or you can do the implant. Intranasal, yeah, some people buy the, I wouldn't be doing that, but some people do that way. So where are we at with that? So now we've established that Scenesse actually is Afamelanotide, which is Melanotan 1. Now, Melanotan 2 is nothing. It's not approved anywhere. And honestly, well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. But Melanotan 2 is, there's not much written on it up about. That's all just repeat of Melanotan 1. Like I said, it's in no man's land, and was up until 2018. They changed it where it was not even anything. You could import heaps of it into Australia. And ironically, when I was using it all those years ago, I was actually importing it all as well. And I was getting 50 vials at a time. And I even got caught by customs, and the Chinese tried to hide it in hair dryers, and the guys at customs caught it, opened up the hair dryer, all these vials stacked in this hair dryer, this $2 hair dryer, and they cracked one of the vials, tested it, make sure it wasn't anything dodgy, and it came back and they wrote, this is just Melanotan 2 on it. That's what it tested as. Because it took a couple of weeks for me to get it back. I was scared. I'm like, am I going to go to jail or what? I even rang them up. I'm like, where's my package? And that's what happened. So it came and it arrived, and the customs tested it. And then I'm like, why did I not get in trouble? And it turned out it was because it was in no man's land. It wasn't anything. It wasn't listed as something naughty. It wasn't listed as a drug. It wasn't anything, so you could have done it. And I believe with my research that all only changed in 2018 when they pushed for trying to get it labelled as a Schedule 10, which is like a naughty, poisonous, like bad thing, which it then got moved, which I'll show you later what it got moved to and what you can do about it. If you want to, because Melanotan 2, I don't want to get off it, it's a bit aggressive, and you don't need the sexual arousal stuff. There have also been reports of some people on Reddit and things like that getting anhedonia, which is depression. I think that's how you pronounce it, and they're saying it's not too good for you in that way. Like me and my friends were boosting it crazy. We didn't get anything. But that's Melanotan. Now, and this is Bremelanotide. Once again, the reason why I'm showing you this one is because it's all approved. Okay, so this is approved and sold under the brand name VYLEESI. It's for girls to get wet. You know, their pink bits aren't working and they go to a doctor and they want to get this sorted out. And it's just Melanotan 2 without the... doesn't work on as many receptors as Melanotan 2. Yeah, Melanocortin Receptors. That's how they all work. They all these peptides, 1, 2, and 3, I call this Melanotan 3. So hypoactive sexual desire disorder, because it ups your libido. Pumps your blood pressure up a bit. Sometimes you feel a bit like, whoa, lightheaded, like you can't think for 10-20 minutes because it knocks you about a bit, but it's all in, it doesn't last long. So this one is all approved. They've done tests on it. People are on it. Like I said, there's been a few people saying they got real bad depression from it. But look at this, right? I don't know anything about chemistry or anything like that, but if you know something about how to read this stuff, then look at that. And look at that. Whoa! The difference is here. Look at the right side here. The difference is here. When I go to that, this is Melanotan 2. This is the one that's in the news, as in the Barbie drug, the naughty thing you can't stop using, like it's so bad. How can it be so bad when it just looks like that? You know, like it's approved. It's like one twin away from this. And then apparently this, if you look further back, it's very close as well. It just works on the different receptors. This one, I believe, only works on receptor 1. Melanotan 1 only works on receptor 1. Where does it say that? Yeah, binding to the melanocortin 1 receptor. That's why the side effects, I believe, aren't as pronounced as the others reported. All this allegedly, I don't know anything, remember? I'm from Scenesse! You know, fucking far right-wing conspiracy nut. Whereas this one, receptor... Yeah, see, this one worked Melanotan 1, 3, 4, and 5. And then the other one, obviously, is missing or changing it around a bit. But the other thing is, even though they think they all work on helping you get a tan, and that's why even this one, Bremelanotide, which they've made same as Melanotan 2, but so you don't get a tan, they've made it so you still get a tan. So control all these girls that want to get hornier are still getting specifically hyperpigmentation. They're still getting tanned off it. Even this one. So could you, as someone with EPP, reason why I'm going in all this and like showing everyone, because the rumor is you can't get it. And I'll get to this in a minute as well. More crazy stuff. Especially for the people of Australia. Oh, and then I'll get into something else, which is really, really mind-blowing. So, what are we getting into? Yeah, so these people are told they can't get it. They think it's so different, and it's not. To me. If I'm missing something or I'm crazy, write in the comments. This guy's got no idea what he's on about. And, yeah, we'll You know, I'm happy to be wrong. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Obviously, I'd like to be right. I want to know stuff. I'm a fan of knowledge, but you know, I don't care if you tell me I'm wrong, and I would love to learn with you. Why am I wrong? Why is what this person's saying is true, and what I can see for myself is not true? Also, I took it 13, 14 years ago. All my friends, black as anything, still alive. The only one thing is, a few years later, I had a skin test. You know, I got a skin check by the skin check doctor, and he's looking over me, and this was a few years after, around 10 years ago, and he goes, "Oh, what's this?" Oh, he didn't say that, but he goes, "I don't like this one, I'll take that one out." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, take that one out, I don't like the look of that." I said, "Oh yeah, shit." You know, and then he, a couple of weeks later, he come back and tested it, and he goes, "Look, to be honest, that was the scariest looking one I've ever seen." And he said, "I thought you had it for sure, and a cancer growing." And I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, that one's not right." And I said, "Well, I took Melanotan a couple of years ago." And he goes, "Oh, you know," and he's like, "Oh, okay," because he'd heard of it. And then, yeah, he goes, "Yeah, well, don't take that anymore because yeah, look what I honestly thought it did, and you don't know if it does do that." And I said, "Yeah, you don't know." But that was it. It made 10 years later, I'm still alive, but it did trick the dermatologist or whatever he is. He wasn't a dermatologist, but he was a skin cancer doctor looking. All right, now, can you get this in Australia? Now I've said that this is the same thing. Oh yeah, no, Scenesse would have told us that it's Melanotan. Sorry about me rambling, but yeah. All right, let's go to their website. Can't be the same thing. We've been told for years it's not the same thing. I wish it was. Imagine having light sensitivity and we can get out there. Published research. Melanotan. Oh, it's not here. Oh dear. Oh, it shocked me a bit before. I'm like, oh, they've taken it away. See more. Boom. Let's do the search again. Oh, bang. All right. Melanotan. What the hell? Oh, it can't be. It can't be. You know what I mean? I showed you what happened. Yeah, it was called Melanotan 1 until they started building something totally different, injected in another way that they were able to, you know, what's it called? Gaslighting. It's like everyone thought the fantastic and greatest thing ever. You had time to, you could see the data showing that you don't even need, like, anyway, it's the same type of thing. But yeah, so you just got to have a look into it. Melanotan 2, the customs pulled it up and they said it's prohibited substance. That was May 2020. Maybe something more to do with that there with TGA, because the person handing it over, where they tested it, probably didn't know the rules or anything like that. Once again, I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, and if that was me and I didn't know all this stuff, I'll just hand it over to them too, because, and just be happy with their goods declared permitted import. You know, but let's go have a look here. So Melanotan 2, like I said, Schedule 10, they were applying for it as a Schedule 10. All these reasons, because it's just sold on the internet and young kids are getting it and they're not injecting it properly. You know, you can give yourself in skin, everything, like, it's not good. And then you got this one here, is what they ruled on. And they said, we're going to call Melanotan 2 a Schedule 4. Now remember, Melanotan 1, Afamelanotide is already approved. That got approved as well. Remember that, because it's sold as Scenesse. But Melanotan 2 is actually a Schedule 4 thing that your doctor can write a prescription. Delegate notes. They didn't. They said it's not gonna. We're not gonna make it a 10. We're not gonna make it a Schedule 10, but we're gonna instead gonna make it a Schedule 4. Can be, which is just a drug that doctors, I believe, can prescribe. And if any inappropriate prescribing by a doctor happens, they would be regulated by Medical Board of Australia. So doctor has to use his discretion wisely. And good luck getting the run-of-the-mill doctor to just, you know, write you one, because unless you got what I've got, which I had to prove that I've gotten, you know what I mean? Like, they're not just going to say, they're not going to write you up the script with Melanotan. They wouldn't even probably know what I'm saying. Like, I told my doctor the other day I'm on Melanotan. He kind of groaned. Because what's he ever had to do with it? Except for reading a couple of news articles about, like everyone else has. You know. But yeah. Oh, but what, they can prescribe it, but where do they get it? Where do they get it? They get it from compound pharmacies. Yeah, I was having a look there before. There's another one. Where do they get Melanotan II? Oh, Compounding Pharmacies. Melanotan II. Upload prescription. You know, based in Queensland. They're all around Australia. You can buy a compound pharmacy with Melanotan. You just got to give them the script. Or pharmacies, compounding pharmacies, many of them make Melanotan. Many make, and that's Melanotan II, the naughty one. But they gave in and said that you can get it. They write prescriptions for it. They make it. Did I spell it correctly yet? There's another one making it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's another one. Compound there. That's another one. There it is there. 1300 number. Australian email address. This was in Victoria. They make Melanotan II as well. So, wonder if you can get PT141. Bremelanotide. And you can just talk to them. I don't know what this is listed on the TGA or anything. Compound Pharmacy Australia. Yeah, there you go. There's another one. Compoundingchemicals.com.au. They're making it as well. Melanotan 3, what I nickname Melanotan 3. Log in to view prices. They're in Sydney. There you go. Get a script for that and off you go. You can get it. I don't know why it's so hush-hush. A guy in Reddit actually showed me this a few weeks ago when I was looking into it. And he's like, yeah, I've got it like 7 years ago or something in Victoria. He said, oh, I didn't want to trust any of the Chinese dodgy stuff, which is fair enough. That's a valid point. So I got it made up here locally. And I said, really? Your doctor wrote your script? Yeah, they can or something. And then, yeah, you can. Not just, like, look at that, ring the pharmacies. They don't make it. Look at TGA. They've got it written up there. They're still trying to push it as a 10. Because why not? It's in no man's land. It's not made for anything. Because you got PT141 that's made for stuff. Or you've got Melanotan 1 that's made for stuff. And they're selling Melanotan 1. You know, so they don't need this stuff to be out there. What else am I going to say? Oh, yeah. She's like, I talked to a person the other day and they're like, yeah, I'm on a trial drug. I wish I could get Scenesse. I'm on a trial drug. I said, what one? That? And she said the Mitsubishi one. I said, oh, yeah, I read about that. So I read about that a few weeks ago too. Mitsubishi EPP drug trial. And they're like, yeah, it works differently to Scenesse. And from my understanding, it does. It, instead of going in there and stimulating the receptor, it's all to do with the receptors being stimulated. They just do it in another way. Right, MT7117. MT7117. And then I looked into it. It does the same thing, it just does it in a different way. So why would, but you're a guinea pig. This is all on trial. These are all on trial. So why would you be a guinea pig when you can just get, you know, it purchased for a decent price, like something that people have been used for ages? I don't know how it works. I haven't looked into it, or, you know, all this stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Remember that. I'm a nobody. So the answer is probably simple, and I'm just too simple, and I'll never look into this stuff ever again. And I'm happy to do that. If I'm dumb, I'm dumb. Like, I've nothing. It's just, I'm putting out what I think I know. Yeah, but so this, they're getting everyone through these trials of this MT7117, which stimulates the receptors, which is exactly what the other one does. Activation of Melanocortin 1 receptor. It doesn't do anything to the porphyrins in the blood or in the body or anything like that. It does exactly the same thing. Makes your skin darker because it aggravates the same receptor. Same as Scenesse one does. Just does it differently. I don't know how it does it. Maybe it tells the brain to go down there and do something as opposed to the peptide going in. Don't know. Don't care, because nothing to do with me. But I'm just saying, like, why have these people, man, that can't even... I've got a toddler. He goes out swimming with his mum. He loves me so much, fighting with me and everything. And we used to play in the pool and that. He comes back swimming. And he just looks at me and yells at me in his little 2-year-old language, like, why weren't you at the pool? And it just breaks my heart, man. He wants to play with me. And this would have happened with everyone, you know. Like, the answer's there. You just got to look, turn your brain on and have a look. Like, it's the same thing I said about, like, turn your brain on and have a look, because I don't know if I'm happy to be wrong, man. You know, people say I'm wrong with the too, but it doesn't look like I am. Like, I've got the big CD C19 2 months ago and I'm still live. Like, what are you on about? Like, it's the same thing. Turn your brain on. Have a look. Have a deep. When someone tries to pull you up and says stop, it's not the same thing. Just, like, my brain and people like me, we ask why. Like, don't. It's not good that we ask why, because we can go forever. Like this MT7117, one day I might care about that and keep looking, but who knows? Anyway, that's how I do research, like a passion fruit that I am. And good luck to everyone. And if you do have EPP, are you going to look into this? If you do want Melanotan, are you going to, and the only way you can do it is by going overseas like I did. Got the script off a doctor in Thailand. Was a very fair price. You can do that as well. If you have grief in these countries, which, you know, you got to be honest, doctors aren't just gonna, your GP's not gonna write this script up for you, even though it looks like he can. You know, you're gonna have to be needing it, kind of thing. I did see in the TGA thing or something, it said the reasons why you can have it is for like skin issues and like body, like you're too nervous about being white, like you know, people that body consciousness. Yeah, that said that was like an approved reason or something. Anyway, I shouldn't really say this because I feel like everyone's gonna be like, what, you know, is this true? I don't even know if what I'm reading is true. It's hard to believe what I'm seeing here, but stranger things have happened, eh? But yeah, this is this on tgo.gov.au. I think it was this page. And it tells you about all what other countries say about it. Unimproved injectable drugs in the USA. There you go. Melanotan 1. You cannot get this, even though it is in America as a approved injectable drug. It has to be done via the Scenesse thing. So Americans can't do what it looks like. What else we got here? You know, I've read heaps. I've still got heaps more to talk about. I don't want to keep going because half the people got their info and left already. But current use, patent in Australia. People just buying off the website. Yeah, and then it's a Schedule 4 as of only 1st of June 2018. Like I said, I believe it was sitting in no man's land. You got it off the internet, but prior to that, they just said don't. They just kept putting on the news, don't do it, don't do it. Didn't mean it was illegal. Like I said, I got caught at customs with 50 of them. Like, licensed to print money it was. Because I was selling them to my mates and everything. Customs, because it was a nothing burger. It was nothing. But to think that the EPP people were told that it was nothing is just mind-blowing. And I'm not saying go and use it or anything because there are side effects. I'm not a doctor, nothing. I'm just saying I'm no one. I'm just saying showing what I have discovered on the public, on proper websites. You know, have a read about it, do your own research. Nothing to do with me, but just, you know, have a look into it, guys. All right, guys. You know, the funny thing is when I was pumping it as a kid, I'd never think that I'd ever need this. And I read about it. It's being made for people that have, you know, photosensitive skin. I never thought that I'd be one of them people. But here I am. I'm one of these people. And am I benefiting from it? I think I could be. But I don't know because there's a few other variations to my regimen. You know, it's definitely not solved my problem going on. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but that's because I ask myself every second of the day, what's going on with me? I've got burning every day. Feel burning. Anyway, see you later, guys.